It's election night in the U.S. Polls are closing and vote counting has already begun in the final hours of Tuesday's presidential election. And early results are already starting to roll in. For more, we have our Kim Jung-sil on the line. Jung-sil, fill us in.
Dami, results are pouring in as Americans headed to cast their ballots for their next president. Now, as of 10 a.m., many of the eastern and central states closed their polls, and we're seeing results. According to CNN, former President Donald Trump is projected to win Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia, which respectively carry 11, 8, and 4 electoral votes. Now, Indiana and Kentucky were among the earliest to finish voting, closing polls at 8 a.m., with West Virginia closing polls just in half an hour ago. The early vote returns may not clearly indicate who will win eventually due to varied vote counting rules, so we'll have to wait for the final outcome, which may also depend on how quickly key swing states can report their results. Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin in particular have absentee ballot procedures that could require sometimes days to complete. As of 10 a.m. Korean Standard Time, polls have closed in many eastern and central states like New Jersey, Alabama, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Tennessee. To avoid any confusion, I am mentioning all the times in Korean Standard Time. About half an hour later, at 10:30 a.m., polls close in Arkansas, which has 6 electoral votes and is likely to support former President Trump. At this point, polls will now be closed in half the states. Now, this year's race is so tight that the battleground states will be pivotal in determining the next U.S. president. Polls in the battleground states of Georgia closed at 9 a.m. and North Carolina closed at 9:30 a.m. These both have 16 electoral votes each. The New York Times predicted that both those states would generally count fast. In the coming hours from 11 a.m., polls will close in 15 states, including the swing states of Arizona, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Polls will also close in some of the most populous states like Texas and New York. Now at noon, the final battleground states, Nevada, will close its polls. At 1 p.m., the poll will close in 4 states, including California, Oregon, Washington, representing a likely haul of Democratic votes. And the final votes will close in Hawaii, one of the bluest states in America, at 2 p.m. Korea Standard Time. In Alaska is a safe Republican state that finishes voting at 3 p.m. Out of the 538 Electoral College votes, the winner needs 270 electoral votes to have a majority. So that's the update until now.
Right. Jung-sil, so Harris and Trump claiming wins in their reliable states. While we wait for more results to come in, let's talk about the exit polls.
As for exit polls, CNN reported using its national exit poll that 46% of the voters have a favorable view of Vice President Kamala Harris, while about 42% view former President Donald Trump positively. This is so close, and it was kind of expected when we saw the very first result from Dixville Notch, a tiny township in New Hampshire yesterday that had an even split with 3 votes for Vice President Kamala Harris and 3 votes for former President Donald Trump. And this suggests, I'm mentioning this poll because the result of the Dixville, because it is the earliest vote result. And it suggests that we're seeing what's shaping up as a competitive race with key battlegrounds still voting or just starting to count votes. For now, it's a tight showing as we wait on more states to report. That's all I have for now. Back to you, Dami.
All right, Jung-sil, thank you for that report.